perfect example of a set it and forget it type project. Look at these miners. They are tucked away behind my dresser. They are dusty and dirty, and we got to show them some love. So let's do a video. Nerdy dude stuff. For those of you keeping track at home, we're going to change up how we do our beer. But today we are drinking a baby cake oatmeal stout brought to you by Walking Tree Brewery out of Vero Beach, Florida. This is sitting at 5.1 alcohol by volume, and we should be getting notes of chocolate, coffee, and roast. Not sure exactly what that means, but we're going to sip it, give it a score, and give us our impression. So, got a little bit of that chocolatey coffee cold brew aromatics. A little more chocolate, less like chocolate, more cacao, I should say. So it's got that bitter with a hint of that bitter coffee flavoring as you typically see with the stouts. I'm not really getting too much on the roasty side, but it's pretty solid. I do always like the stouts with that coffee and the cacao bitterness to it. So this is probably about a 3.75 out of 5. Cheers to you guys. Ding. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. If this is your first time on the channel, please take a moment to consider subscribing, turning on that bell notification, and liking this video. Now, as many of you that are here on my channel know that we do plug and play miners. If this is your first time here and you don't know that we do plug and play miners, this is going to be one of the miners that we have been talking about. We were in Vegas showcasing them, doing their YouTube channel, all that stuff. To everyone else, you're familiar with our SCP and our SCPrime and our Xaminers. We've got the official one that you saw at the very beginning, then a little 2 terabyte one that we got from Jused D, and then we have a 12 terabyte, which we just haven't set up yet because we're lazy. So what we're going to do here is jump over onto the screen, kind of give a quick breakdown for those of you guys that are new, and give you guys an update since we haven't talked about these miners pretty much in a couple of months, so that way you guys can kind of know where we're at, any relevant announcements that you can follow in their Discord, and just kind of get our feet wet again with bringing the channel back. So let's jump over to the computer screen. So we'll just touch base real quick on the Discord. There's a lot of information that's coming from Ken, that's Faustin, the main man up at the top. A lot of the stuff to do right now is with the licensing, and we'll kind of briefly explain the licensing when we talk about the 2 different options you have for purchasing these miners. Now, what these tokens mine is SCP. Now, I don't know why I'm putting that in quotes. They literally earn SCP. So SCP tokens, and right now it's currently sitting at about 23 cents. Was at 22 cents when I started the video, and we've seen some decent prices on that. This is not a tokenomics video, but this is the token that you earn, that you mine, that you get paid out in for participating in this project. What exactly is this project? Basically, in a nutshell, this is a cloud storage, decentralized storage opportunity where they take storage and you become a provider, or you're someone that purchases storage through a relay system, like, medical records, HIPAA approved things, a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of technical mumbo jumbo that as of May, they started launching to get storage out there. As of right now, what everyone does is you get one of these devices and you decentralize data, right? Amazon, Google, all that stuff has their data centralized in locations. If an Amazon facility, AWS, gets hacked or power outage or blown up, everyone's data that's stored there gets, eliminated because that it's all centralized data is there. What this does here is you can take a look at this node map is a good breakdown. Let's imagine that all these little blue spots on the map are SCP miners, Xaminers, Jused D miners, so on, and do-it-yourself kits, so on and so forth like that. So it's decentralizing data. Basically what happens is data gets encrypted and then it gets broken down into sharded pieces and then sent out across the network. So let's say, for example, if my device goes down for a couple of days, which my original one did, but we went through customer service and they completely fixed everything immediately for me. There's still people that can access their data just because the data is sharded and encrypted. There's other backups of that encryption throughout the network for people to get their data. So just one node goes down doesn't necessarily mean that someone can't get off their important data from there. But anyway, as of right now, the network is it has 4,000 miners that are currently active, and we're totally not playing poker over here on the side, but we have 4,000 miners that are currently active, 4,062 online today, 4,041. Last 7-day change, it looks like maybe 100 110 went down. So there's 272 that are offline, that are up and registered. And this is in combination of official Xanet miners and or the Jused or the do-it-yourself miners. You can see right now the total storage on the network is right now 75.4 petabytes. That's insane. And with today, data stored today, 803 terabytes. So the max, like that's a lot, and that's a lot of data that's currently being stored, and a lot of data that's continuing to grow. I'm kind of seeing if we can see how much of that capacity is being used. And you can see it over here. So we've got a network capacity of, like I said, we've got that 75.4 petabytes, and the network usage right here, it looks like we're up to just under one. Okay, yeah, so data stored today is 820. Oh, that's just a 24-hour thing. But, ooh, 910 suited, we're going to play that. Yeah, let's play that. So, anyway, that is the breakdown of the network itself. The devices that you can get, you can either go to Xaminer.net and you can order yourself either a 16 terabyte device or a 64 terabyte device, and then there's warranties and so on and so forth. Or you can get a do-it-yourself or a third-party miner, and you want to look at getting probably, ooh, we have a flush. You can also look at getting one of these Jused miners that are a little more on that do-it-yourself spectrum, and then you can go back through into Xanet services, and just like what the announcements are talking about, and getting yourself a license. That license comes with many benefits. You get a little bit of a refund for purchasing a license in SCP. You get access to like them being able to log into your miner and take a look at stuff for you. There's a whole world and reason why you want to pull your license or your do-it-yourself device into Xanet services. You can go here into the Discord, and you can see what they're going to be pulling up is right now. You can see there's 74.4 petabytes of total capacity. License capacity is 55.6, and then we've got 18.8 of unlicensed, so on and so forth. So that's some stuff that you're going to want to take a look at. Now, what everyone is interested in, how well am I doing right now? What are our numbers at? So on and so forth. So as of right now, this is my actual Xaminer, and we are, let's just go to the statistics page. This is really what you want to see. So as of right now, we are getting full incentives because we are completely up. If you purchase one of these devices, you also get rebates. You can take a look on the actual purchase screen for there. No, Xaminer stat, no issues. Everything has been up. We've been up 100% of the time in the past 30 days. Really happy with that. Total capacity 63.1 terabytes, and right now we only have 153 gigabytes going. Last scan was 29 minutes ago, but you can see here current month incentives 5.07 SCP. We're looking at storage price 17.58, collateral price 17, blah 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 blah. All that jazz right here. So this is a nice, interesting screen to keep an eye on because we want to see that we are up and running and everything is good to go. You can always go to the financials and kind of take a look at our last month transfer. Let's go all the way back to the last very end, and you can see here just for that little bit of storage that we have, we've got 10 SCP from last month. Now this is the one that makes me happy, is my Jused miner, and when we purchased this from our buddy Jused, he sent it to us with 2 SCP on there, and so that 2 SCP is now worth, where is it, 35.6. We were up to 39 SCP, but we are now up to 36 SCP, or we're down to 36 SCP just because these devices are putting up the collateral to do the contract. So overall, really, not too much power, very quiet miner, set it and forget it. With the project being such a baby project right now, and there's not a lot of like the gold rush is just about to start. All we need to do right now is to have the network continue to grow so all this storage can be spread out to these devices. Overall, I still think it's in very, very baby stage, even though there's 4,000 devices online. There's going to need to be a lot more. Data is growing exponentially. So that's why this is something that, we're still at the ground floor on, and this is now that they have the opportunity for companies to purchase these relayer devices to store their data on the network. You're going to start seeing some major growth. A few roadblocks that are hindering some of the growth opportunities, like the big thing that you want to target if you're this kind of project is medical records. So they need to make sure that they get into HIPAA like standard or HIPAA. You got to follow HIPAA guidelines. So I believe in, let's say like Arizona, you can't provide storage and data outside of Arizona. So if someone has one of these devices in the middle of Arizona and then they move, then that device will no longer fall within the HIPAA guidelines of being able to hold storage, and that could be something that's forfeit and all. So there's some roadblocks and some hindrances there, not necessarily something that's bad for the project, but it's definitely something that is to be, considered worked around, developed upon, and so on and so forth. So probably the last question that I want to address, and I'm sure you guys are wondering and thinking, is have you ROI'd yet? Now, the reason why I'm not worried about that, because we dropped $3,500 on our 64 terabyte device, is because when you purchase it, you get a 42.5% rebate. We got that rebate paid out before the spike in the price of the SCP token, and we did take a little bit of profit, so that way we could ROI. But technically, when it came to the mining of the SCP token, no, we have not ROI'd yet. We're not even close until that network starts to grow, and until we get a whole bunch of storage put onto our data put onto our storage providers, when we'll start seeing that ROI. If we just looked at the non-refund side of things, if we broke down the $3,500 that we spent on the device mining the tokens, we haven't ROI'd on just yet. So there is that incentive right now, since this is in baby mode, this is in pre-stages, where we are laying the foundation of purchasing one of these miners and getting that refund. I believe this for the 16 or 14, whatever the smaller device is like 38% or something, 37.5% rebate, and then the large 64 is a 42.5% rebate. You do get that paid out in the SCP token, so that's where we got the first two payouts, and we did get to benefit because they got the payouts at like, I think price was locked in at like 69 cents, and they paid them out at that 69 cents when it was currently at like $2 a token or something like that. So we definitely were able to make bank on that token run. But like I said, at the end of the day, the actual mining experience, we have not ROI'd on that just yet. This is a very long-term project. Data isn't going anywhere, and it's a growing and booming industry. I was at NAB 2022 in Las Vegas at the Xaminer Net Services booth, and wow, the data information that was at that trade show was insane. So anywho, that's going to do it for me. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me on Telegram, Twitter, or Discord. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, all that good stuff. I'm Oprius. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, hey, guys. We also stream over on Twitch, so if you want to hang out and join us, link in the description. You can follow us, twitch.tv/nerdydudestuff1. Really love to see you guys over there. And also other social media information is in the description of this video. So we'll see you guys next time.